What's up, everybody? Me, cannabis industry lawyer, here with another How to Cannabis segment. You may be with pie in the sky dreams, thinking about how much money your dispensary is going to be making. Oh my gosh, you're going to be so rich. Okay, well, I don't mean to bring you down to earth, but I do need to clarify one particular provision of the tax code that only really applies to you, Mr. Dispensary owner, much more than if you actually owned any of the other aspects of the supply chain, which would have made the goods. So, hey, let's bring Miggy on and then let's talk a little bit about how IRC-280E works for your cannabis company. I mean, Miggy, as somebody who's on the outside trying to get in, have you ever heard of IRC-280E?
Yeah, and I thought that was for anybody that touched the plant, they couldn't use it. So you're saying a store owner, someone who has a brick and mortar can use it?
No, it's we need to talk a little bit about it. It has to do with when does it become inventory and trafficking, and when are you making it into that inventory? And so if you're starting with a seed, or if you're starting with biomass, and then you're going to do some extraction, or you're going to do some cultivation, well, you're creating the good that will be sold. And because you're creating the good that will be sold, they did not pass IRC 280E to prohibit that aspect of the expenses being declared non-deductible business expenses. It's the only legitimate business expense in the illegitimate, contraband material, contraband substance, drug industry. Well, so that's where it is. It's the cost of goods or the cost of trafficking.
How about like an example? Say I'm a tomato farmer, right? And tax season's coming up and filing. As a tomato farmer, I can write off the cost of the goods, right? Like the picks and shovels, maybe the soil dirt that I had to buy for the soil,
the help seeds, workers, material. Like, okay, you can do all that.
Yeah.
But what about your marketing dollars? Can you deduct those?
As a tomato farmer, yes, right?
No, because you're good. The tomato doesn't need that logo slapped on it that says buy Morningstar tomatoes. That's a trafficking expense. That's when the expenses that you have become non-deductible. And that's why your marijuana dispensaries, cannabis dispensaries, they are the most heavily taxed, because that truly is the trafficking in the substance. You are literally selling it at a retail location and welcoming people in a retail transaction. Right. That is the definition of trafficking. And as such, you can deduct the costs that you paid for your inventory, and maybe your inventory manager, because he's doing all the stocking and shelves and stuff. But after that, it's trafficking. And there you go. And so, like, if you are a dispensary, Marijuana Moment has a couple of neat things that we're going to discuss here. This is recent. So this isn't just How to Cannabis. This is May 11th, 2022, How to Cannabis. And so the IRS provided a hypothetical example to illustrate the distinction of what happens when the marijuana retailer, of course, that is the dispensary license, the pot shop that they have in Washington State. And I'm going to just zoom in one more time. And so a marijuana retailer has a gross revenue of $1 million. Pretty cool. It spent $750 on COGS and incurred another $200 in business expenses, which are non-deductible per section 280E. Assuming a 30% effective tax rate, the marijuana retailer has a federal tax burden of $75,000. $250,000 times taxable income of 0.3. Had the business been allowed to deduct the other $200,000 of business expenses, its tax burden would have been reduced to $15,000. $50,000 of taxable income at 0.3. So how, and this might not be something, now if you're an entrepreneur watching this, great, and you have an S-Corp, and you probably know this, you can use salaries to soak up profits. And so that's one thing that they'd be able to do then as well, is you can use that salary, and then eventually there becomes a point where you have to justify the reasonableness of the salary, but you don't even want to do that if you own a dispensary. You don't want to do any salaries to yourself. You almost just want to take all of it as a distribution if you can, because you're going to have to pay the taxes first, and then you have to deduct everything. And then again, if you were working there and that was your job, shit, you should be getting a salary, right?
those numbers though, man. So they made $1 million profit. They had to put
revenue top line.
Okay, revenue top line, and then 750 is what they had to put into it, right?
Yep, that was your inventory.
And then 200 was what?
250 was, or I think it was $1,700,000, and so like it was $300,000 worth of profit, and then that gave the taxable aspect. No, it was 750. So that gave the taxable aspect, and then a 30% tax rate. So that 250 times 0.3 is the taxable burden of 75,000. So your taxes aren't twice as high.
Well, I'm just
saying they aren't even 4 times as high. They're 5 times higher under this hypothetical that the Taxpayer Advocate.irs.gov just did a blog post on May 11th regarding this. Despite operating legally in many states, marijuana-related businesses face significant federal income tax law challenges. And it's just how it is. And there they are. As a national taxpayer advocate, I am voice of all taxpayers within the IRS. As such, my office assists many different types of taxpayers resolving problems with the IRS.
But on that first one, on the back into those numbers in a Marijuana Moment article, the 750 and then the 200 on top of that, so that's 950. So there's 50,000 in profit only. And this seems like a very good business model. I mean, if you're only making 50,000 profit with that kind of money invested.
Well, actually, that's a little bit high. I've heard that the average profit margin for a dispensary is about 12%, and so that one has it at 20. And this is just another reason. And this is the How to Cannabis section. So, like, please smash some likes and then check out our playlist, How to Cannabis. But that has to do with, why it's only that 12%. In the IRS's example here, they have the business being 20% profit, because you have a tax burden to 15,000, 75,000. So you have a $75,000 tax burden, and then you have to add the 75 to the 750. So what are you at? 825?
Yeah, it's not
825, and so then the 825 and $1 million. So where you're at 12.5% exactly. So it's a very they audit all the dispensaries. They know your numbers. And so that's why you can look at it and be like, there you go. 12.5% is what the profit margin is, but nowhere near what it would be if that tax didn't exist,
Oh, for sure. Oh, God, no. I mean, again, why is it that a $10 gram, I was able to buy a gram for $10 in the medical time, and then $10 gram in the recreation time? The thing is, at the beginning, the quality and quantity didn't match. I mean, it's still not there 100%, but that's because of taxes, because these guys are still fighting against taxes in the recreational versus medical. The tax they charge is the in-between guy. That's your tax, not the nothing else.
Yeah, well, it's something else. I just wanted to thank everybody for hanging out with us on another wonderful episode of Cannabis Legalization News. Yeah, we had a couple. I mean, we used to get hundreds, but now at least we're getting out there a little bit. We're going to get a board that says so many days since we've been disqualified. And then I think with the clips, I think we were also publishing too much. And so that episode, this episode will have a couple of days to marinate and get further out and more views. So it might be better that respect. And then if you don't have time to watch the whole thing, go check out the clips show.
I think that got confusing. I think we just started doing the clips, so people assume that we're doing shows every day, but it was just clips from our Sunday show. So, and I really still need to put more content out. I mean, I got so many thumbnails that I've made. I just haven't had time to actually contribute and just to do lives. I enjoy hanging out with people.
It's like, when you have full-time jobs, and then it's nice that we have a couple hours a week to shoot the shit, and then put this stuff together. But it's marketing for my firm, and then maybe it'll be marketing for your company one day soon. Who knows? Yeah. But go ahead and visit us at facebook.com/freethc or at cannabisindustrylawyer.com.
Smoke when we got them. Oh, I like money.
Yep.